Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you guys for joining me once again. My name is Wilkie and I'm finally back with my new Doomblade PvE build. And yeah, before we start off, sorry for making it a bit late, but I did have technical difficulties on the weekend. So I think I'm back online. I should be good. So let's hope it stays that way. And another thing is, two things, or three. If you go to what the hell? If you go to the Resistance Training Grounds, which is the training room, take off your power core, because it's going to lose charges even if you're inside of here. So this is just an unnecessary loss, just take them off. And before I actually go into the skills, I use the advanced mode. This is what makes or allows me to use Cutting Wave back and forth. So if you're wondering how do you like spam right click and not just go into one direction, you have to take advanced mode in. And as far as the skills go, I do use auto target, and auto attack ticked. What auto attack allows me to do is just hold the button. I don't have to like go and hammer. Maybe you heard it, but if you have what the hell? If you have auto attack on, this is what it's gonna do. So this is very convenient, and I just play that way. Anyways, let's just dive right into the skill build. So Dark Slash, pretty self-explanatory, high DPS, even though it doesn't look that intimidating at first. It's a really powerful skill, very low cooldown, very low mana cost, super good. Only thing to note about that skill is that when you're behind an enemy and you start using that skill, the third slash will turn the enemy around facing towards you. So as you can see, the first two were back attacks, and afterwards the enemy faces my direction again. And obviously the easiest fix for that is just press right click, behind them again, and you can continue with back attacks. So just keep that in mind whenever you use that as a combo connector or filler, that the enemy is then going to be facing your direction. Same applies to the X version. So gonna be turned around. Unfortunately, there's no way, unless you have a help of a teammate, that you will score a back attack with that skill. So, Phantom Cross, very good utility skill, ranged poke for PvE. It's good to drag mobs together. For PvP, it's a very good opener if the enemy is not too far away. Damage is horrible, at least in the current state of the game. Don't put any more skill points into that, and also don't get the awakening for that. It's just not worth it. Cutting Wave, bread and butter of Doomblade, very powerful skill, does not consume mana, so that's very good. If you hover over the skill icon in that little skill window, it shows you all the skills that will recover curse stacks, which is Oblivion, Soul Vortex, Purgatory Wave, Ghost Blast, and Phantom Cross, and obviously Curse Drinker, which is probably going to be your main source of Cutting Wave. It can be spammed for rapid amount of damage, or most of the times I'm just using it to get behind the enemy and then start whacking him in the face with other skills. Deadly Draw, I just love this skill. Ultra State, Ultra Break, good range, has a wonky hitbox that skill actually hits behind you. Like, you can see, like, I'm not even touching it. Actually, I was too far. But, like, you get the point that that skill actually has sort of like a hitbox even behind you, which is kind of tricky for PvP because a lot of people get caught by that. But generally, very decent range. It has two activations, so this is the first slash, and if you hold it or press it, depending on the control scheme, you make 2 hits. Very powerful, very good damage, very low cooldown. Mana cost is also pretty okay if you ask me. Just max the skill, and I personally just love the damage on this skill. I use it very often, so I also took the Awakening. Dancing Shadows, similar to that, as a lot of people like using Dancing Shadows. I just use it as a filler, or in conjunction with Purgatory Wave, which I'll explain once I reach that skill, but I don't like it. For PvE, it's just a filler, but damage is okay. It's a neat range poke, but that's pretty much all about that. Oblivion, one of my favorite skills. Damage is actually pretty good, but you don't have to max it. I just maxed it because I didn't really have anything else to do, so I dumped my skill points into that skill. Purgatory Wave. Now, the reason I actually maxed the skill is, first of all, I had skill points left over, and Shadow Strike, you could technically put it into that, but I removed them from Spirit Barrage, for example, because I just don't see the damage coming from that skill. So back to Purgatory Wave. Basically, you have charge states, as it states here. Where does it state there? By holding, you can actually charge it, so you have like 20%, 40%, 60% more damage. What it also does is, if you just pop it once, it's not going to drag the enemy with it, and it's just going to like slice through. If you hold it and charge it, you'll see that it starts dragging the enemy with and do multiple hits. Now there are a couple mechanics about Doomblade, and I'll probably make a separate video covering all of them, but if you use Dancing Shadows and then Purgatory Wave, while you're not going to get the high damage wave, you're going to get the dragging wave. This is very, very useful in PvP, and can also be used in PvE for some quick damage, because this way you're still going to get the 6 hits, albeit with less damage, but you're not going to be standing there casting it for ages. So I think this is a very good way to throw Purgatory Wave out in a fluent way, not leaving you vulnerable, because you don't even have Ultra State when you charge it, so anything that whacks you in the face will interrupt the charge. So just make sure. Also, I just love the skill. That's just on a personal note. I just really like it, how it looks, how it feels. Super awesome skill. Soul Vortex is a very good utility skill. You don't have to max it, but I just had skill points left over, and I just find myself using it very, very often. Very good pull, good for combos. I just love it. I showed that combo off, but usually what I do is I dash through with Cutting Wave, Deadly Draw, and then I usually go for Soul Vortex and start mixing things up that way. I just really love that skill. Very good for crowd control and pulling. So Soul Steal, this is one of the major differences compared to my other build, because in the first build I told like Soul Steal isn't that great. And that was because I didn't know about a few things. First of all, I'm going to try and show you the damage numbers. I'm going to do an auto attack first to trigger my dark debuff, because that might clog up the screen. And we're going to go for full charge one. So that was 15 million. We're going to do 3 each. Another full charge, 12.8 million. And 14. So I'd say like average 14 million maybe. I'm going to just tap it. 13.2. Might be high range, might be low range. 15.1, okay. So as you can see, these numbers are surprisingly similar, even though the first one was fully charged and the second one was instantly. So there's a trick about this skill that I didn't know, and just pay attention to the sword, and you might spot something this little glow here. And that's pretty much the moment you want to release that skill. And the reason for that is, just lo and behold, I just messed it up. Look at the damage numbers popping up now. That was 21 million. Servers will be shutting down, interesting. 21 million. 19.7. So that's a pretty decent damage increase, if you ask me. By roughly like 30 to even almost 50%. So that skill actually is quite powerful if you know how to use it. I didn't know about that flash mechanic, so I just discarded it as a not as great skill because it takes long to charge, but actually if you just charge to the shine, it doesn't take that long. And that's quite massive damage, really. Like, I'm getting 22 million hits out of that, so that's the reason I maxed it, or almost maxed it. And I also took, where are we? I also took the Awakening to further increase the damage. So that's the reason why I actually have Soul Steal now, because if you use it the right way, it's actually quite powerful in PvE as well. Spectral Assault, I think this is self-explanatory. Only real difference is this skill has 2 ways to use it. Tap it once to send a slash. Whoops. Tap it once to send a slash. Hello. And then press it again to do the X slash. That way, you're going to be dealing 3 hits at reduced damage. So we're going to like 7.2 and 6.8ish on the cross hit. And if you just hold the skill, you're going to instantly do the cross slash. I'm going to see if I can get the damage number in. There we go. 22 million. So as you can see, for Rapid Burst, you will just want to hold the skill into the cross slash instantly. It's gonna ultra break, and it's just gonna be much faster for a very, very powerful burst. And I did actually boost the damage for the Awakening as well. Yeah, Spirit Barrage. Boy, the skill looks fancy, but the damage isn't great. That's just a fact. The damage, I think, at least in my opinion, is not worth it. It's a very cool combo skill. It's a very flashy skill. It has Ultra, so you can use it to, well, Ultra for certain things. I just never used it very often before, so I took my skill points out and dumped it into the other skills. 6 Blade Leap, I did actually max the skill because, especially the last hit, as you can see, the last hit was 23 million, 21 million. So you can see that this skill is actually tremendously powerful, and I discarded it as simply being an iframe. So that skill is very useful. And also Awakening for extra damage. Ghost Blast, my all-time favorite. Super good utility. High damage on all 3 hits. Just an insane long cooldown, heavy mana cost, but I just love this skill. It's super good. So, Shadow Stride. I did not max it. Well, you can only put it to level 2 right now. And similar to Soul Steel, we're gonna be doing a chest. So this is a full charge. I didn't see it, super dark. I have like what, 8 million on a fully charged one, 8.3. So now we're gonna do for the quick one. Oh look, that's 7.5. That's surprisingly similar again. Oh, that was 6.5. That was a tad bit lower, 7.3. So I get the point. Both full charge and instant use are gonna be dealing the same damage. The difference on Shadow Stride is that the animation at the end is a lot quicker. So similar to Soul Steel, you have this flash appearing at the draw or at the handle of your sword or blade, and once you release it, that was pretty tight, but that's what she said. That was a pretty neat timing. I'm gonna do it a bit more obvious. There we go. And as you can see, the damage ramps up, but so does the animation until the shadow actually follows up. So this is similar to Soul Steel, that there's the, I guess, sweet spot, I'd call it, when you want to release it. And that is pretty much after the flash. Once you start using that and paying attention to that, it becomes second nature. Like, I don't actually look at my blade, I just know when to release it. But this is a very good thing to know, because some of these skills become quite a bit powerful once you know how to use them properly. I still don't use Shadow Strike very often in PvE. Usually I just use it for a quick mobility boost or iframe. But yeah, I think it's good to know that both Soul Steel and Shadow Stride have this sweet spot mechanic to it. And that's pretty much about it. About Ultimate Draw, there's 2 things. First of all, Ultimate Draw has a pretty large range. So I'm gonna whack the enemy in the face even though I'm not even close. As you can see, I slashed him. And boom, he's still gonna get hit. The other thing I unfortunately cannot show, or... Actually, can I get the enemy to move somehow? I don't think. He moves a bit. That's not gonna work. Anyways, what I'm trying to tell you is that even if you don't hit the initial slash, the second one, like when he sheathes the sword, English hard. When he sheathes the sword, the hit will still apply even if you did not hit the enemy with the initial slash. So you can just use the iframe slash in the air basically. And if the enemy is then in your field of view and in range, you're still going to be delivering the hard-hitting skill. Just for a... yeah. That's just a few things some people don't know. About the Awakenings, I already talked about. Dark Slash. I like the... wait. This one. Opportune Slash. I like the slash reduction. You can see it here. I just like it. I use the skill a lot. So, Deadly Draw, increased damage, Lightning Cut, Lightning Quick Cutting Wave, 10% movement speed and attack speed. Just way too powerful to not get it, really. This is super good. As I said, Deadly Theft for Soul Steal, since I started using this skill quite a lot. I put my Awakening skill points into that. Screaming Vortex, the additional stuff for Soul Vortex is unfortunately not working correctly. So, don't put any skill points into there. Spectral Assault, very high damage, very cool skills. Powerful Barrage, since I left Spirit Barrage at 1, I can't even take it, and even if I could take it, I wouldn't. Six-Blade Leap, as I said initially, very powerful skill, high damage. Same goes for Ghost Blast. Alright, I think I pretty much landed at the 15-minute mark. Again, unfortunately, I'm not able to make these guides quicker. I'm sorry about that. But I think I gave you a little bit of information that some of you Doomblades out there may have not known. Especially since about the Soul Steal and Shadow Stripe mechanic I didn't know myself. There's a few other things about Doomblade, but I'm not going to spoil you right now. As I said, I will make a specific video talking about Doomblade mechanics in the future. Anyways, this is my PvE build. I'm not going to make a separate PvP build again, because PvP hasn't really changed, so there's no change for me there. Right now, PvP is wonky because they gave us our right-click killing power back. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. Anyways, this concludes my PvE skill build, the one I'm currently using, the one I'm currently running in the PvE arena, and in Starhenge, and pretty much any other dungeon. So if you have anything else you want to know, anything specific, any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments on Facebook, Twitter, whatever you feel comfortable with. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys next time.